Alright, we're going to try hooking it up to our PC. And we've got to get in here to this little USB connector. So this is a mini USB, which is nice. That's standard. So I have lots of those cables in case I lose this one. Should we put it in the right way? I want to know anything about USB, except for USB-C. So this is connected, and then take the other end and just plug it into our PC and see how it goes. Okay, so we've got our Garmin Express application up and running, and we're going to add a new device. So we've already got our Forerunner running watch, so this is a new Garmin device. So we'll plug this in. I don't know if it's going to, doesn't detect it right away, so let's go ahead and say add a new device. Plug it, so now it's looking for it. Might want to wait until. Okay, Windows found it. It made a little beep, beep, beep. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so it found the device. Windows found it. Didn't find any video, any pictures on it. So, as far as I know, this doesn't have a camera. Maybe it does. I don't think it does. So we're going to add this Garmin. We're going to sign in, which I'll stop recording it for a minute and sign in. Alright, so we're signing in, and I found the device. It says OK. And I'm going to block out our network so you can't see that. So it's connecting to our Wi-Fi network. And then they're going to finish setting up the device. When you plug it in, the front of the device just says Garmin. It has a USB symbol on it. So software updates are available, so we're going to go ahead and install that. Probably one that supports this device. Yeah. Oh, I see. They're actually upgrading the Garmin itself. That's nice. This is how you can keep your Garmin software up to date on the device itself. So that's very handy. Alright, so we're up to date, and that's great. Disconnected from the computer and following instructions displayed on the device. So we'll do that, and we'll see what we're supposed to do next. Alright, so we updated the software on the device. It says unplug and follow directions. Looks like it turned it off, so we'll turn it back on. Maybe it said to reboot it. That was it, probably. Hey, Sophie. Our cat doesn't like me messing around with this, but she'll have to wait. Okay, so it looks like it loaded the software. Now it's loading the maps and so forth. Maybe got some new maps as part of the update. So that's nice. Sophie, just wait a minute. Alright, so it's back in business, and we'll just keep going from there. Alright, so it's back in business, and we'll just keep going from there. Alright, so when you plug in your 66S, Garmin 66ST into your computer, you see these, it acts like a USB drive, so you can see what's in here. HTTP, I'm not sure what that is. But Garmin's got all sorts of directories for different things. I don't think I'm going to mess with this too much yet. Let's check the size of this. So this has got, it's like a 16 gigabyte drive. It says only 3 gigabytes used. There's probably some extra stuff that's not shown here. I doubt they have a 14.4 gigabyte drive. So there's some extra memory that's held back, used internally by the computer. Probably the firmware has its own memory space, whatever. So it's got a pretty big free space here, so we can put lots of geocaches. The geocaches don't take up much room, but think about additional maps. So on our old Delorme system, we added a internal USB drive or SIM card to add extra memory, and then when we added maps or whatever to the GPS, we could say whether we wanted it to go in the internal memory, which is here, or into the SIM card. So I found it better to put stuff in the SIM card and let the GPS use this for the default stuff. And when I'm actually placing things on the GPS, rather just use the SIM card and let the GPS manage this space and not have it run out of space for something it needs to put on this drive. So I think it's better to add an additional SIM card if you have one. Or they're so cheap now, it doesn't really. There's not much impediment to adding one to this kind of a device. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Then we'll see how this changes and so forth. One thing I learned is even without any batteries, you can plug it into a power supply and it'll turn on. So that's good. If you're using it in your car, then you don't have to use up your batteries while you're plugging in, using it in your car. So that's handy. And if it isn't plugged into a computer, it should just come up with a standard menu when it starts up. Let's just double check that. Yeah, so this is just a standard 5-volt power supply like you'd use for your phone. This particular one you can plug into the wall to charge it, which that's the one reason I like it. It comes with its own plug. One thing that's unexpected is after I had this plugged in with the USB card with a cable with no batteries in it, and as I showed earlier, it works fine. But when I unplug it, of course, it should go off. But it looks like it has some kind of e-ink system here where the screen is retaining the GPS, the USB symbol and Garmin on the front here, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure it must be e-ink, the only I can think of, like a Kindle. Anyway, here's where you put the SIM card in. So you're supposed to slide it this way, and tip it up. Do it this way. Slide it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So it tips up this way, and then here's our SIM card. So you have to use a micro SIM. So this is 32 gigabytes, and it's a. I don't think the speed matters. A lot of devices you have to have a good speed, or it's not going to work. But this is a 4. So that's not super fast, I don't think, but it should be hopefully fast enough. So it just lays in there as far as I know. Only goes in one way. Then you push this down and then slide it toward you. And that should lock it in there. Yeah. All right, so that's in there now. We're going to power it back out. I'll start putting batteries in here because it's just kind of weird where it's showing something on the front here. I don't know if that's good for it or not. So go ahead and put the batteries back in, plug it into the computer, and see if anything different shows up in File Explorer. All right, we're ready to plug it in. So we'll just plug it in again. So the batteries are in there. And it should start up. I wanted to show you the difference if I have the batteries in now. So when I unplug it from the computer, the screen will go blank. It'll put up the power symbol and the screen will go blank. So that acts differently than when you didn't have batteries in it. So that was kind of strange because it had that weird e-ink behavior where the screen was still showing something. So and we're going to power this up, and we'll see if we can set it up so it doesn't automatically connect when we plug it into the PC. Okay, so we plugged it back in, and looks exactly the same. So we have to probably select that other card to do different things. Now with the Delorme, when you connect it to the computer, it didn't automatically connect. You had to say you wanted to connect it to the computer, and you could select either the internal memory or the SIM card. So we'll have to look on, see if there's something in setup on the Garmin so they won't automatically connect. Because normally we want to be able to select which either the SIM card or the internal memory that it's going to. So So we'll go ahead and shut this down, and we'll get into the menu of the Garmin and see if there's some way to set it so it doesn't automatically connect. I can see automatically connecting might be useful, but for our purposes, we want to be able to select either the internal memory or the SIM card. All right, so I figured out where the other SIM card is. So we've got this is the Garmin one I showed you earlier, and it's got 16 gigabytes, 14.4, and then another drive shows up. In this case, it's drive I. If you look at that, it also has a Garmin directory, SQL directory. Okay, so it won't let you go to the SQL directory, but DCIM, that's usually, yeah, okay. So let's look at the size of this. So when I stuck it in there, I must have formatted it. It didn't ask me about formatting it. So this shows 32 gigabytes. So that's what I put in there. So that's good. In fact, let's check this one again. All right, so it is showing almost 16 gigabytes. But again, a little bit is being held back here. All right, so that's where the other drive, that's where the other SIM card shows up. This is a separate drive, which is fine. Hopefully, when we load geocache files and maps, I guess we can select where we load them from, either the internal drive or the SIM card. So that solves that issue. There's nothing on the GPS you need to do. It just automatically shows up as a second USB drive. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Post a comment if you have any questions or ideas, and I'll try to respond. That's all for now, but more videos are coming, and if you want to see them, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification icon if you don't want to miss one. This is Beta Cygni signing out, and keep looking up.